This week's video is all about taking kindness rocks back to their origination and creating some tiny messages of hope. Let me just give you a quick rundown of the supplies. These are some really tiny little rocks that I ordered on Etsy, and they came from Latvia. So they came internationally. They took a little longer. It was about $10 for the box, and I think about $8 for the shipping. So they're really tiny, but they're really smooth and pretty. And then I'm just taking some skinny washi tape and creating some stripes on the rocks. Then I'm going to take some of my Aiuli watercolors and just fill in between the tape on the stripes, and then we'll peel the tape off and write some tiny messages of hope on these little rocks. So the inspiration for this design kind of came out of some heavy feelings over the last couple of weeks. I work at a university, and we had a student who unfortunately took her own life, and that felt very heavy to me. I always struggle wishing I knew how to help people that are at the end of their rope and feel like that's the only way to solve their pain. And there's been multiple shootings over the last couple of weeks across the country, and my kid's high school has experienced, it seems like, an unusually high amount of lockdowns for school shooting threats. And I think that's been going around the country as well. I think a lot of it's hoaxes, but that doesn't remove the anxiety that comes with it. And that bothers me, that our kids are growing up in this angst and that they have to be prepared for that kind of thing. And also a couple people close to me experienced some great loss in their families. And so it just was kind of heavy, sad feelings. And I wanted to channel that back into turning it around in a positive way. I also recently completed the Kindness Rocks Project certified workshop facilitator training, and not so much that I am planning to hold workshops, but I just kind of wanted to dig in more on the origination of the Kindness Rocks Project and why it came to be, because obviously it's grown and not everybody is doing it to spread kindness. Sometimes it's art, sometimes they're selling it, and I think that's fine too. But I just kind of wanted to dig in on where the true meaning was. And one of the things that came out of that workshop for me from Megan Murphy is she was saying that to her, she finally realized that this is kind of an act of self-compassion, and that when you're putting a message on a rock, put a message that you need to hear in that moment and take in that message and then release it out into the world for someone else. And so I was kind of thinking of that with these two, because, I had these sad, heavy feelings, and not necessarily directly at me. There were things that had happened to other people around me, some people I didn't even know, but they just felt heavy. So I was kind of taking what I maybe wanted to hear and what I wanted to share with people in those situations to keep going and to have a tiny message of hope. Now, I'm not saying that Kindness Rocks are going to save the world and that it's gonna, stop someone from hurting themselves, stop someone from hurting someone else. But I do think it contributes to more kindness in our society, and I can't see in any way, shape, or form how that's a bad thing. So it might be making someone smile. It might be, it might not even be a rock. It's holding a door open for someone or offering directions to someone who looks lost. Just all of these little acts of kindness add up. So they're tiny, but they add up in a big way. And I'd like to believe that in some way that overtakes the bad things in the world. So that's where I am this week. No special designs, nothing crazy, just little messages of hope to put out in the world. And I hope that you can find some time in your painting this week to maybe put a kind or hopeful message out in the world for a stranger and maybe even for yourself. I will link all of the supplies that I used in the description, including where I got the rocks, since I didn't do too much tutorial instruction in this video. But in case you want to know where they are, and there's a discount code for the Aiuli watercolors also. Keep spreading that kindness. You have no idea what kind of difference it might make in someone's day or their life. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch, and I will see you next time. Take care.